Doctor Who Terminus, the 11th story of the 5th Doctor, is written by Stephen Gallagher and starring Peter Davison, Sarah Sutton, Janet Fielding and Mark Strickson. So the making of the story was facing technical difficulties, including problems with costumes, delays due to electrical problems, and a misbuilt set. Some scenes had to be recorded in improperly lit sets, production ran seriously late, and several scenes were taped hastily. Sotolo is still being ordered about by the Black Guardian. He tries tampered with a roundel but sort of got caught by Tegan as she doesn't trust him. So Tegan shows Tolo his room where it was used to be Adric's. As Tegan goes to Nessa's room to talk about Tolo's personality, Tolo messed up with the heart of the TARDIS, which set the rotor off.
The breakup is beginning. I can sense it. Remove the space.
And it's pretty cool to have a companion going behind the Doctor's back. I would love to see more of that. And there's cool effects where the TARDIS corridor is fractured, both original and CGI replacement. Nessa is stuck in her room, so she goes into a ship. The Doctor, Tegan and Tolo will have to rescue her, so they split up. The Doctor has found Nessa. Tegan hears Nessa's voice through the door, so she sends Tolo to fetch a pry bar to try open the door, but inside were lots of scary arms. At least Tegan got out of there. Carrie and Oliver have taken the Doctor and Nessa prisoner in the control room, as they think they're pirates. Carrie and Oliver's ship flies away. All of a sudden, all passengers should disembark to avoid an imminent sterilization, according to them. Oliver finds out that the passengers locked in their rooms all have Lazar's disease and they are trapped on the plague ship. Brilliant cliffhanger. So Tegan and Tolo took cover under the floor, calling for the Doctor throughout part 2. The Doctor tells Nessa not to touch the Lazars and stops Carrie from shooting them. Oliver mentions that his sister died from Lazar's disease. He tells them that Terminus is run by a private company for profit that uses fear of the disease to demonize the plague victims. While they claim to offer a cure at Terminus, he's never heard of anyone coming back. The Doctor is shocked to see Terminus is in the centre of the known universe. Nessa finds Oliver and she's not feeling well. She's been affected and she removed her skirt. Apparently Nessa was feeling ill and tried to loosen the pressure of her stomach, according to the script, which is why she removed her blue skirt. But in the interview for the book Doctor Who 25 Glorious Years, Sarah Sutton suggests it was deliberate fan service. So Nessa is taken away by the droid while Oliver watched. She gets taken to Valgard, who is complaining to Sigurd, another Vanna, about Iraq's insensitivity. So while Sigurd goes to get Hydromel stealing a vial to insert inside his armour, Nessa attempts to escape but it failed. She gives Oliver a chance to slip aboard Terminus. Valgard takes her to meet the Garm. Later on, the Doctor finds Nessa's skirt, so he and Carrie runs. They weren't aware that they'd been watched by Valgard. He knocks Carrie down and then grabs the Doctor by the neck, which is a brutal cliffhanger. Peter Davison is great as the 5th Doctor. It's a shame he doesn't get enough credit. Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding are great as Nessa and Tegan. It's sad that Nessa is leaving at the end of the story. I like Mark Strickson as Tolo. The actor nails it, especially where Black Guardian manipulated him. Valentine Dial is terrifying as the Black Guardian. Lisa Goddard and Dominic Gard plays Carrie and Oliver, space pirates. I really like those guys. Apparently the role of Carrie was offered to Twiggy. Rachel Weaver plays Inga, who got Lazar's disease, who was transported to Terminus. Martin Potter plays Iraq, the leader of the Vanna. Sean Arnold, Nicholas Ball, Ralph Bates, Christopher Kazanov, Tom Chapman, Ben Cross, Jack Galloway, Nigel Havers, Richard Heffer, Martin Jarvis, Jeff Rowell, Patrick Reichart, Paul Shelley, Simon Ward and Simon Williams were considered for the role. Tim Monroe and Peter Benson play Sigurd and Bor, the members of Vanna. Apparently the Vanna are reference to the Vanna of Norse mythology. R.J. Bell plays Garm, a formidable humanoid of vaguely canine appearance who lived in the Forbidden Zone. Pretty interesting concept, and also reminds me of Carvinister in Doctor Who Flux. It must have been pretty rough to put the costume on. Garm was the name of the guard dog of Hell, the Lord of the Dead. There's great casting. The effects are pretty good for its time and low budget, both an original and CGI replacement. The set on spaceship is well done, because you can actually feel yourself on a spaceship. So Carrie grabs her gun, Valgard uses the Doctor as a shield, the gun's power pack drained, Carrie and the Doctor ran into the Forbidden Zone, so Oliver steals Vanna helmet and rope to move around undetected. Meanwhile, Tegan and Tolo manage to escape. Nessa's trapped with the people with Lazarus disease, appeals to the Vanner for help. Iraq finds that some of the hydromel is in fact coloured water. Valgod came in looking around in Forbidden Zone to find the source of the radiation they've detected since arriving. The Doctor and Carrie met Bohr, who's now burnt and in a fragile mental state, lodging a load of scrap metal behind him. Bohr leads them to the engines that drive Terminus, one of which is damaged and leaking radiation. Bohr is having trouble to focus despite his memory loss, warns the Doctor that if the damaged engine is to explode, it would threaten the entire universe. That one engine has already exploded a long time ago, telling them to check the computer and follow the cables. His warning is interrupted by Valgod, so Valgod attacks the Doctor as he believes to be a spy, but Valgod gets knocked onto the ground, and poor Nessa is getting chained up. Iraq brings Gom to take her to the mysterious cure. Tolo is getting threatened by Black Guardian for his failure to kill the Doctor. After the Doctor and Carrie got to Terminus control and find a dead body of the pilot, Oliver discovers the Gom chaining Nessa up in the engine room. He runs to her only to be caught off guard by Valgod. The Doctor finds that Bohr's description was not accurate in saying a previous engine had exploded. In fact, Terminus was a time ship that had dumped its fuel while in time flight to avoid an overload. The Doctor was horrified where the exploding fuel had created the universe. The same events occurring now would definitely destroy it. He also realizes that the computer already started the fuel dump process automatically, which begun. Valgod and Oliver had been fighting while Gom kidnaps Nessa. Oliver managed to take down Valgod and noticed that Nessa is gone. The TARDIS reappeared, Tola went inside, and Tegan is on her own. The Doctor and Carrie are having trouble to throw the switch to stop the fuel dump. It won't budge. Nessa woke up in a white chamber to discover all the symptoms of Lazar's disease are disappeared. Terminus control. Carrie watches the Doctor struggle with the control and allow that pilot must have had the strength of a giant. So Oliver asks Gom about what he does to the Lazarus, but then Gom defends his actions as saving some that would otherwise die, and takes Oliver to Nessa. The Doctor and Carrie brought in the Gom. Oliver forces his way into the chamber in which Nessa is recovering, and she finds out that the cure of radiation could work constantly if it were properly studied. Engine is still overloading. Gom begins to force the override lever. Back Terminus itself begins to shake. At first, even the Gom's strength doesn't seem to be enough, but in the end, he manages to push it back. After they're shut off, the Doctor disconnects the computer from the system. The Doctor smashed the box, and Gom is free. Forever. So Valgod is about to attack the Doctor and Carrie, but they're saved by Nessa and Oliver. So Nessa said that the Gom now free and could help her improve the treatment of the Lazarus. Valgod believes otherwise. Even if this were true, the Terminus Corporation wouldn't care, and as long as they control the hydromel, the Vanner are slaves. Although Nessa realizes she could synthesize and even improve the hydromel, the corporation would be unable to retaliate since the soldiers they might send would never enter a laser colony. Like the Gom, the Vanner are now free. Iraq came back and reminded of the deal, but Sigurd supports Valgod, and even Bohr says it's time for a chat. Tegan showed up. The Doctor advised Valgod on how to improve Terminus. Nessa revealed to be staying at Terminus to find a cure for Lazarus disease.
I'm not coming with you.
What?
There's too much to be done here.
Tell her she must.
Well, you can't stay. It isn't safe.
The Doctor and Tegan doesn't want Nessa to stay, but it's her choice. So they say goodbye. Nessa gave the Doctor a kiss on the cheek, and it's a great send-off to Nessa. I mean, I am really sad to see her go. I like the fact that Nessa's theme from Keeper of Traken is played in that scene, which is pretty emotional. Meanwhile, Tolo isn't well, and he's on his final chance to kill the Doctor, but he refuses. Sadly, he has not much choice until the Black Guardian is dealt with, but that'll be for the next story. Great stuff in the story. What did you think of Terminus? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.